welcome to Gaggle.net. My name is Wally Sarkisian. Today we have our friend Michael Saryan back. Michael is a very successful businessman. He is well known in Armenian circles. He always helps as best he can to Armenian. And today, last time we talked to Michael was during 44 war. He was very depressed, and I'm just wondering how depressed now he is after this huge tragedy of Artsakh. So, Michael, welcome.
Well, thank you, Wally. Thank you for inviting me again. You're right. Last time we talked was during the war, and I was depressed and upset and angry. Now I'm more depressed. I mean, beyond depression. I mean, I'm really feeling like any other Armenian in this world that this is one of the worst pages of our history as Armenians. I would say the Armenian genocide is the darkest page, but this is as close to that Armenian genocide that we're facing today.
You know, when you messaged me was, I don't know, 11:30, 12 last night. I normally go to bed at 9, and because I'm early waker. And I couldn't sleep. I just cannot sleep. Looking at those pictures of those Armenian now back refugees, it just break my heart. Sometimes I think I have to just shut down everything, not do anything. It's just you can't sleep, and I'm sure this is not only me and you, the entire Armenian nation are in this situation now.
I mean, it is really, really tragic. These innocent civilians in Artsakh, they lost their homes, they lost their dignity, and they're going to be slaves under the Azerbaijani rule. And I can imagine the feelings that they face today, sitting there completely hopeless and under the Azer rule, which is going to be brutal because they're going to take revenge. They're going to say, you guys, fought us, killed us for the past 30 years. Now it's our turn. And it's going to be brutal. I mean, they're going to be absolutely
sorry to stop you. They even killed Russian because we got today a report. Let me see here. The Russians went there to sort of document. What is it? Yeah, like horrific report surfaced on a telegram that Baku liquidated Russian deputy peacekeeping chief and his convoy because they were alerted to a massacre. Reached the same the scene. They reached the scene of its aftermath and photographed how Azeri forces had raped and mutilated bodies, including of children of Artsakh. Even Russian, they're killing even Russian to hide their things. Imagine that.
Well, Wally, I mean, these tragedies is going to go on and increase, basically because you don't have anyone to defend them.
No.
There's a small Russian contingency, which is not going to do much. And I bet you they're going to ask the Russians to leave.
Yeah.
Which is going to happen
next. Their next plan.
That's next step plan. And I think the people, either they have to, if they have a choice, they'll open the border to go to Armenia, and nothing else is going to happen.
I think they're all going to leave. There is
all
no
bad.
question.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to. I mean, look, in various areas like Nakhichevan, not a single Armenian lives there.
Yeah.
Western Armenia, no single Armenian lives there. And Artsakh, within a year, maybe even less, no Armenian will be left there. It's gone, completely gone.
Yeah.
And whatever Armenian churches there is, any resemblance of an Armenian is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, they're already starting to do.
Yeah, they're going to destroy
now it's their country. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course. I mean, they were saying, oh, you should open Lachin border, Lachin corridor. It's their land. I mean, this idiot admitted it's part of Azerbaijan. So, of course, he's going to do whatever. It's like my house. I do anything I want in my house. I
Michael,
mean, who's going to tell me what to do?
Michael, do you remember during, maybe you don't remember, but I'm just gonna refresh your memory. We talked about curvature, and you specifically mentioned there, because for years the Azeri wanted to get curvature because
Of
curvature
course.
was the buffer zone between Armenia and Artsakh. And even though the Azeri was, even during 44 war, they couldn't get there. But Pashinyan just handed to them.
I
And then
know.
what
I
happened?
know.
They surrounded Artsakh. There was only that Lachim corridor. And this was well designed, planned by this criminal Pashinyan.
I mean, we lost more lands after the war than we lost during the war.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost more lands after the war than because he gives it away. He
Yeah.
gave it away. I mean, this guy doesn't know. I mean, two things you can think. Either he doesn't know what he's doing, which is one scenario, or I mean, I hate to think that he's an agent to somebody and they're telling him what to do.
He is the
Which,
agent of Turkey. I've been saying this for 5 years. Every
so, which
step you
is,
could see what he's doing.
and that is so horrible what's going on. And even more sad, here's the problem, Wally. The people of Armenia don't say to this guy, enough, get out. He's still there as of today.
Look,
That's the sad part.
look, I write now lots of stuff. Yesterday, one guy, I don't know, I should maybe look and get his name. He said, I mean, this is nothing more it angered me. When they say, oh, who is this replacement? Or who are you going to bring? Or Kocharian or Saryan? It's just like 8 million Armenian. There is nobody, an idiot like Pashinyan. It's just like so bizarre.
I know. I mean, the minute you say he has to go, they say, oh, the former people are going to come. Well, why former people? Why can't you bring somebody new?
Yeah, it's that.
Someone successful Armenian, or someone who's a successful businessman, or someone completely different and will bring some stability to the country, bring some respect, and repair the damage that this guy has done. I mean, Armenia doesn't have even one single friend. I don't think, I mean, in Russia, I don't think we have any friends within that hub thing. Uh, we don't have not even a single friend on the West, not single friend with Iran. Nothing is a disaster. It's absolute
Yeah,
disaster
yeah.
what he created. Armenia has not even a single friend. And that's tragedy. That's a very tragic. I mean, look at, and I hate to point this thing out, Wally. Look at Erdogan. The guy is brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's part of NATO. He's very close, obviously, being in NATO. He's allies with the West. And guess what? He has a great relationship with Putin. So he plays that card very well between the West and the East. Armenia needs to do a mini Turkey, a mini Erdogan. The leader of Armenia has to play that card very carefully, keep Russia, even though Russia is weakened now, and no doubt about it, and Russia is extremely weakened with the Ukraine war. However, Russia can be very helpful to Armenia,
But
and keep that relation with the West. Obviously, the West is going to welcome Armenia, but yet, have a good relationship with them.
look, why you go that far? Look at Syria. Syrian president knew how to deal with Russia, keep Russia aside them. For 11 years, he fought the same enemy that Armenia has, the Turks. And now today, yesterday, I think China sent his own plane, took Assad and his wife to China for meeting. You know, this is the problem. This guy came in with revenge to destroy Artsakh. All this myth that Talanchi, corruption, it was nothing to do. He just focused on this Kochari and Sari because they were Artsakh, and so he created this hatred against Artsakh, justified this crime.
Yeah. And this is a very, as I told you earlier, it's a tragic day. It's really very tragic for Armenians everywhere. And the sad part, which it's done by an Armenian,
Yeah.
did it to the Armenian nation.
Yeah.
You always
We don't
think
know.
about the enemy.
We don't know if he's Armenian, quite honestly.
I think
neither his first name is Armenian, neither middle name, neither the last name. So Armenian, that's questionable.
But the people in Armenia elected this guy twice, and still has some popularity, which is beyond me.
Yeah. Like in England, they kicked the prime minister out for simple energy crisis. And here is this guy committed all this crime because he created this cult. I mean, in any situation like this, even in the United States, you saw when Trump, the people in this administration saw he's screwing up, they resigned.
Yeah,
Not a single person from Pashinyan have resigned. Not a single.
Yeah. I mean, they're still in power, which is amazing. And even further I go, they beat the shit out of anybody who's against them. I mean, look in the streets.
Let me run that.
This is like a police state. This is like brutal police state. It's using the police to beat. I mean, I can't believe the police or the army is not revolting against them. I mean, I just can't believe it.
I wouldn't be surprised here. Like this guy is now head of Armenian army. He is from Artsakh. He was born in Artsakh. He's doing nothing because Pashinyan gives them a job. That's it. This is the problem with Armenia. You could corrupt anyone with the money.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll all get rewards from him, and he keeps them happy just to protect his ass.
Yeah, well, he borrowed $5 billion. All he did, he spent on giving the police raise 3 times, the civil servant, the teachers, So he corrupted the entire government system. That's why everybody's stuck with him, because he told them, if I go, then they're going to kill you. And so people are afraid.
Yeah. I mean, now my fear is Armenia itself. Because Artsakh is finished, it's done.
It's gone.
I hope and pray that he doesn't agree to this corridor that's going to divide Armenia in half, basically.
That's next.
That's next. That's what's going to happen. I think these people, they're going to demand at this corridor between Azerbaijan proper to Nakhichevan, and it's going to cut Armenia. And even Erdogan said, you know what, Armenia will agree to this.
Yeah.
Or we will force Armenia to agree to this.
I think
so.
There is now a movement in Armenia, but we don't know. And I wrote about this, and I said, if you let this moment goes, then Pashinyan will be there, will be mirror of Erdogan, and Aliyev stay there for next 30 years.
He'll stay there. He will not leave. All these talks that he should resign, he's never going to resign.
No.
Never. I mean, you must be joking.
I mean,
he will never resign, ever.
The guy is a criminal. He knows that as crime. He know what he did. He know why he came in. So he's not going to, calling him.
Well, he needs, obviously, to get out of office. That's first step. And also, immediately right after that, a new government has to be formed and take over the country and try to bring some sense of dignity and stability to Armenia. He needs to put in jail and ultimately let the jury or the judge and prosecute him, present evidence against him, let that the independent jury or maybe a criminal judge
I think it has
decide
to be
his fate.
military tribunal. Has to be.
Yeah. So some form of justice has to be done, or justice has to be served, because of, I mean, look at the innocent Armenian soldiers that died. Why would you let 5,000 young Armenians die if you were going to give this Artsakh away? I mean, I can't believe it that he was offered an option by Russian President Putin to have a
Several
peace
times.
at the beginning of the war, and he rejected it. And that would have given him at least a face to save the situation. He refused. He just doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I don't understand it. His logic is just a flawed logic, which, I mean, I don't know whether it's a criminal mind that he has or just just downright doesn't understand things. And you know, because I met with him twice, so I mean, he seems pretty. When you talk to him, very simple guy who doesn't has a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. I mean, remember, he was a journalist by background, and he never understood politics or diplomacy and military operation. I mean, he doesn't have any understanding of these topics. Yet he's the commander in chief. From what I understand, he just makes his decisions without even consulting anybody. So I mean, look, I mean, he just contradicted his own foreign minister a
Yeah,
couple of days ago.
let me show you that. You know, like here is just a second here. What is
Azerbaijani users are
This is
sharing the
Mirza.
profiles of Armenian
I mean,
women
he
from
re-
Nagorno-Karabakh on
he
social media,
did really
making
good job
biddings on
explaining,
who will
you
get
know, I
those
watched all
women
Yeah,
to rape
no, Mirzwan, I
when
listen
they are
also.
taken under Azerbaijani
He
custody.
did a great job trying to
Colleagues,
explain
then-
Armenian.
This was
So then,
feasible. The clear signs
this
were
idiot-
Հիմա այսօր այս պահին
hours before
մեր
that.
գնահատականն այն է, որ Լեռնային Ղարաբաղի քաղաքացիական բնակչությանը ուղիղ սպառնալիք
Yeah, he
չկա։
says there's no direct threat.
Yeah.
Whereas Mirzwan says there's a big
And
threat.
so what Azerbaijan does,
In view of certain interventions before me, including the one delivered by the Armenian delegation that replicated ungrounded accusations against Azerbaijan, I cannot but simply draw the attention of the Council that just few hours ago, the Prime Minister of Armenia, in his statement, dismissed all these accusations by publicly acknowledging that there is no direct threat to the civilians in Karabakh and that allegations on mass atrocities against them are not true. I want to remind, this is the statement from Armenian Prime Minister a couple of hours ago. Mr. President,
he said that just 2 hours ago, the Prime Minister of Armenia said nothing happening to Artsakh people.
So he's like, as if he's is an Azeri president.
yeah. Like like Pashinyan basically sabotaged his own foreign minister. I mean, and I saw that even Mirzoyan walked out from United Nations conference, the meeting. He walked out while this guy was talking because he was just bullshitting stuff, you know.
Yeah. It's just sad, very sad.
If Mirzoyan had integrity, he would resign.
Yeah, of course.
He would really resign, and he would have at least some credibility to do anything, you know. But of course, they're all been in the same cult, so they wouldn't do it.
But at least he had the guts to stand and say these are the things happening, and his boss contradicts him. And the Azeris use that very, smartly. They said, "Look, listen, there's no issue. Why even we're talking about it? The prime minister and the leader of Armenia said there's no issue."
This is in Security Council. You know, this is not like some somebody interviewed or something. This whole thing, the setting, the U.S., the French, the Chinese, the Japanese, the whole people were there in front of them.
It's very, very disturbing to hear that.
Look at those
Yeah, I cannot hear it, but I'm reading it.
Որտեղ գնամ, ինչ անեմ, արդեն կրկնակի անգամ ես տուն եմ փորձրել եւ Քելբեջար եւ այստեղ։
This is very sad. And this
Իմ
poor lady has
երեխեքին
two
ոնց
kids.
պահեմ։
Հիմա դուք ինչ խոսում։
Հիմա չգիտեմ։
This is a tragedy.
You know, there are
Absolutely,
like
absolutely.
stories like this, thousands and thousands of stories. 10,000 Armenians, Artsakh from villages, they are now all in Stepanakert, and they have no place to stay, nowhere to sleep, nothing to eat. It's a major, major disaster.
And you can only blame one person, Wally.
One person, this
One
criminal,
person.
this
Yeah.
criminal, and this criminal, no one but this criminal. I mean, it's, you know, all day long I write, I see these things, but
It's a heartbreaking.
look at that.
Heartbreaking.
Are you talking
Right.
about agent? Look at that.
Yeah.
It's
And he
like,
had a conversation a couple of days ago with Erdogan. So
yeah,
Erdogan
because
called him.
before all the conversation was secret, but now it's like public. He doesn't care, you know.
Because he has the support of the people of Armenia.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing anything about him.
So anyway, right now there is a movement going on, but they are divided. But this guy, where is it? He's really doing good. He came from nowhere. He created this motherland party, and in the local elections he got like 15%, which was great. So he's now leading this protest. He brought in other groups like the IRF and others. So we'll see how far they can go.
Well, yeah, the opposition has to be united because they're all small oppositions
Yeah.
and doesn't have a big major force. In order to do anything politically, you need to be united, not divided, and have a united front in order to combat this guy. Because I mean, in all, if I look at it, you know, he's master in winning the public's opinion.
Oh yeah.
He knows one thing, how to get the public on his side.
Look,
And you still now you have people defending him. Oh, it's all done by the former people. I mean, what do you mean? He's been in power 5 years, for God's sake.
and now they're turning Russia. Russia is this. Russia is that. But if when you have just one ally, you should be nice to them. You should do everything to bring like Syria did. You don't just go and attack them. Think nobody like Russia. I don't care. I don't care who's Armenian. But the problem was that's the only thing you have.
Of course. I mean, look, yeah, the Syrians used the Russians to their advantage, and they were able to win their country back.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the same thing happened in Ukraine. I mean, Russia, yes, is losing a lot in Ukraine, but Russia is still fighting there. I mean, that's part of the reason why Russia got weakened. But still, I mean, you cannot trash them. And I think it's just the best model I suggest is Erdogan model. I mean, look at that. The guy is a NATO and a very good friend of Putin, and they were holding hands together, as you saw. That is superb diplomacy.
With the Turks, always been that's how they conquered 3 continents. Look at that. Erdogan was just a few years ago saying Israel worse than Hitler, and now He is back a friend with them. He was against the Saudis, now he's friend. So the Turks know when to be your friend, when to be your enemy.
Yeah, they're master politicians. They're master
Absolutely.
diplomats. And they were able to do this thing through the centuries, and they're very good at it. Very good at it. Very good at it. I mean, they have a strong army, second in NATO. I mean, they're very, very strong.
But they didn't have anything after the world. You know, Russia helped them, Americans helped them. There's no question. The Turks, the Jews, and the British are the most diplomatic people in the world. That's how they were able to do what they're doing. Armenia doesn't have that. And on top of it, they brought this idiot, school drop-off. He came from a broken family, no business experience, no military experience, no negotiating skill. Because he was from Armenia, that's why they elect him against Kocharyan and Sarkisian. This is their mentality.
I know. They hate, for some reason, they have hateness against Artsakh people. I don't understand that.
And
It's
they
all
hate
Armenian.
everything, even diaspora. I mean, look, this man, why did he leave Armenia? Because he didn't trust the Yerevan people. You know, that's the problem. In Yerevan, you know, when I was in Yerevan in 2019, there was this hotel called Ramada. Right in front of was this buildings demolishing, so there was this fancy walls, fence. And there was Armenian map. Beside it was Karabakh, and was saying Makur Hayastan or Makur Yerevan, I don't know one or another. And then the Artsakh part, they were scribbling on it. And I know that there is a problem here.
Of course. Wally, I mean, look, at this stage, my prayers and my hope is Armenia will be saved. Somehow, some miracle might happen and save Armenia, because it's on a collision course, as they say. Because Artsakh is already gone. We'll never get it back. And there will be no single Armenian left, no Armenian church or anything monument. It's all going to be destroyed. You know that. They're going to start demolishing them starting today. And it's gone. The people there, 120,000 people, they're all going to leave. Maybe some of it come to Armenia, some of it will go to Russia. Who knows? There will be not single Armenian be left there. And they're going to demand now this corridor, which they're going to control. And this guy is going to give it away to them. And no question about it in my mind. You know, Erdogan said Armenia agrees to corridor. Iran is the one arguing about it, he said. Can you believe this? I mean, look, I get all my news from the Turks. And I never get any straightforward answer from Armenia, because they never say anything that's truthful. I mean, look, during the war, Khakhterling was all bullshit lies. And same thing till today. They never say the honest truth. I mean, I understand you don't have to disclose everything, but at least be honest about things, not just be lying about things.
Well, for 2 years, he was not even giving a press conference. He's just lately started doing it because after he got everything he wants to do and become that. Be great if someone like you, there is lots of you, like you, what is that guy, Nubar Afyan, others, they go do these technology things here and there. It doesn't work. You need a leadership change.
Of course. It's waste of, I would never put any investment in Armenia, because you don't ever got the leadership.
Yeah, it's a
complete waste. Yeah, they do these Aurora or whatever, or put a center or whatever. I mean, we need those, but more importantly, you need a new leadership there in Armenia, which is lacking.
There has to be like provisional government. This guy has to be removed. Create provisional government. Bring in people from diaspora, at least 1/3 from diaspora from Armenia, and create this provisional government. Then, once everything is settled down, then you could do an election, let people run and do it. And then also, like the stupid political parties, one-man operation, all they do, they just take vote from the good people. That's all they do. you know. So they have to be law says, okay, you could have only 3 parties. And thank you very much for taking your time. You're a busy man running all those hospitals. It's not easy, and I don't know how you do it, how you manage it, but you're doing a great job. And I wish you all more success of that. I hope people like you would involve politically helping saving Armenia. But there is lots of people like you around. But they will not take it. I know these people.
I will not touch it. 10-foot pole, as they say.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you. I hope we'll
you.
see you maybe next week after that. We'll see
Yeah, just call anytime.
how this would develop. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best
Take
to
care.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Raleigh.